Shadow Ferrathorn needs to do a lot of heavy lifting, knocking out back-to-back steel types. So stay in school, kids. Learn to count. We're going to sacrifice Poliwrath using it as the third shield. We know Skarmory is alive with residual energy. I see it coming in. We're going to fire off the thunder, knocking this steel bird from the sky. Back out comes the basic bitch tin can. We're going to reach thunder number 2, and Ferrathorn is going to claim back-to-back victims. Welcome back to the channel. Yesterday I received mail from the GOAT Callum on Toast saying, do I want to do another collaboration showcasing 150 unique shadow Pokemon once again in the Open Great League? Need you even ask, Callum? Of course the answer to that is yes. Believe it or not, when we do these challenges, facing a lot of sweaty try-hard trainers, we tank quite hard, picking up numerous losses. You can see my on-screen elo already is in a pretty shambolic state, so we need to climb somewhat to compensate for any losses we might occur. We currently have 2 options available in the Go Battle League. The Open Master League, which is essentially pay to win. Unfortunately, I'm not in a position to spend money on the game. I have a family to support. The other option's Fossil Cup, a nonsense RPS meta that I have no interest in playing. Funnily enough, if I don't want to play the meta, I certainly don't want to watch anyone else play it either. So I've watched 0 content and I've joined 0 streams. So I've got no idea what this meta looks like whatsoever. I was scrolling through YouTube and I stumbled across a video from Kpine, a fellow content creator who's linked in the title and the description down below. You should 100% go check him out because he is a phenomenal battler, ranked 15th in the world. He was using this team you can see on the left. He wasn't using Shadow Ferrathorn, but of course this is the home of Shadow Pokemon, so we substituted for the Shadow variant and we went to battle, and we was able to gain around 100 elo on the day, despite me having no idea what to expect. Without any further ado, let's get into the battles. And in game 1, I lead Shadow Poliwrath into Escavalier, a very nice lead for us. The opponent safe switches into Jellicent. Kpine said you need to switch quickly, and luckily, despite taking a week off, my reflexes aren't quite that slow. We're able to switch out quick enough to outpace to the Power Whip, meaning we do actually deny them getting a free Hex. The opponent fires off the Shadow Ball. We withstand the damage, Bullet Seed farm down, and hopefully my Shadow variant of Ferrathorn will be able to survive the counters and reach a Thunder. Oh fuck. Them counters tearing me apart, so we're just going to settle for the double resisted Power Whip. Power Whip won't do much, but all chip damage is always welcome. We send back out Poliwrath. I am going to put up a Protect Shield, respecting the incoming Aerial Ace. The opponent then switches out into one of the most hated Pokemon of them all, the silly electric fish Lantern. I'm going to fire off the Icy Wind, which I thought the opponent would no shield. However, I wanted to debuff him, meaning Quagsire can easily survive 2 serves. The opponent gives me that Protect Shield, and they're essentially in a losing position from here. They don't even shield the Mud Bomb. You're going to see after the debuff, Surf just tickles. We're going to be able to tank both, commit to the Mud Shot farm down. Escavalier finds itself in a very problematic position. We're going to leave with the back-to-back Mud Bombs. 1 will force the Protect Shield, and 1 will do big damage. The opponent recognises the game's over and concede the match. In the next battle, you can see the mirror. I played this mirror so poorly throughout today's video. This opponent actually makes my shielding decision easy. They don't even build up to the Dynamic Punch. You can see on the left, I have put in brackets DP. Yeah, if you're over 18, that doesn't mean what you might think it means. It means Dynamic Punch. This meta only allows 3 typings, 2 of which are weak to fighting, Rock and Steel. So of course Dynamic Punch is the way to go. But after the recent Team Rocket takeover, I only have 40 M, so I'm just rocking with Skull. We send out Quag, Mudshot farm down, out comes Ferrathorn. Quag Ferrathorn isn't too bad actually, but what's even better is a double resisted Power Whip catch onto Ferrathorn. There are some very, very dull mirror matches in the Go Battle League, all the world of PvP. Ferrathorn is certainly up there. However, if you are stuck in it, throw the Thunder, as it's only single resisted rather than double resisted. The opponent switches out into Togedemaru, shield up the first Power Whip, and then throw the Wild Charge, debuffing their own defense. They still need to Wild Charge to secure the knockout. The opponent throws the Fail Stinger. We withstand the damage, fire off the Power Whip. With the lower defense, this is going to land for massive damage. Switch Timer pops up. We snipe with the Quagman. Like I said previously, this isn't the worst matchup for us whatsoever, especially with shield advantage. We're going to shield up the Power Whip, throw at good timing, which is 1, 4 or 7. So we opt for 1 Mud Shot and the Mud Bomb. Mud Bomb won't quite be lethal from here. However, the opponent is going to shield the first. This Mud Bomb still won't knock out, but we are going to be able to Mud Shot farm down afterwards. And if you didn't know, Quagsire is a Ferrathorn counter confirmed. GG's and thanks for playing. In the next battle, this time we see Ferrathorn in the lead. My god, we're about 4 battles in and we've seen the same Pokemon over and over. The opponent throws on alignment. which should allow me to get the full counter farm down and leave incredibly healthy, which we do. Poliwrath leaves with residual energy, out comes Jellicent. We're going to fire off the Icy Wind and then go into our soft counter of Quagsire. Should you debuff them there, it's debatable. I just think after the debuff, it makes this matchup somewhat more playable, as this Shadow Ball isn't as threatening as it was before. We tank the Shadow Ball, farm up, throw the Mod Bomb. Mod Bomb is going to do around 35%, but if the opponent shields, which they do, I'm going to throw the harder in Stone Edge, looking to do maximum damage. And then say, Quag, thank you very much for your contribution. You can see Stone Edge rocks them into the red, and of course I'm never shielding this move. The core of Poliwrath, Ferrathorn, is phenomenal in this meta. It is the best core you can use, so whatever they've got, 2v1, we should be in a good position. The opponent sends out the snail, I send out Poliwrath, and we very quickly get a top left. In the next battle, yet more RPS in my favour. So far, so good, but trust me, it goes downhill pretty rapidly after this battle. The opponent sends out Jellicent, we respond with Ferrathorn, quick enough to outpace to the Power Whip, which the opponent doesn't respect. Likewise, even the Shadow variant of Ferrathorn, if that's what you're going to opt to use, can tank a Shadow Ball. When Sonic does return, we're even going to reach a Thunder, and Thunder is going to do around half their health. Shadow Ferrathorn hits pretty hard. Thunder, not a bad move whatsoever. The opponent will get a very nice Shadow Claw farm down, but Poliwrath is very quickly going to delete this threat in the blink of an eye. The opponent does have residual energy. They don't want to take any counter damage. Send out Lantern, and that is going to be RPS for the win, baby. Let's get it. In the next battle, we see another Poliwrath mirror. Are we going to respect the Dynamic Punch? The last one Icy Winded me. We're going to call the Icy Wind, and guess what? Fuck, we get Dynamic Punch to the face. So if you, like myself, play that first opening matchup like a potato, you need to send up Quag and you need to Mud Bomb immediately. If you throw a further Mud Shot and play to the CMP tie, that isn't a CMP, Quag is going to win. We land the Mud Bomb, which isn't lethal, so we're now going to get Icy Wind debuffed, which is pretty brutal, and we're already in the red, but we do have residual energy good to go. Let's see what the opponent wants to send out. The opponent sends out Quag, we pivot into Ferrathorn, and out comes Mantine. And we now find ourselves in the bait game. Power Whip hits for neutral, and Thunder hits for double super effective. Do you think I'm going to bait? Of course I'm not. Does the opponent respect the damage? Of course the opponent shields, which is pretty rough. But I do think my swiping of the electric bubbles is pretty stylish, if I do say so myself. Once again, we're going to throw 3 Bullet Seeds, YOLO the Thunder, at good timing this time. It's a bit more frustrating and my swiping is subpar. At this point, I really wish I banked the Stone Edge so I could snipe them. Unfortunately, I didn't have the Stone Edge banked. So we're going to continue to farm, anticipating the opponent, trying to catch it onto Quag. The opponent does send back out Quag. Unfortunately, as they aren't the Shadow variant, 2 Mod Bombs won't be enough to knock out. The only win con is if they dump some energy. They don't. You've got me, buddy, and I am going to concede the match. GG's. After a string of good leads, the tough leads start, and the even tougher save switches come in. Ludicolo. That's a yikes. Stone Edge going to do around half the health, but the opponent, of course, never needs to respect that. I don't really want to take a whole heap of Razor Leaf damage. I'm going to send in Ferrathorn. I know Ludicolo learns Scald and Ice Beam. I am going to respect the Ice Beam, but the opponent throws the Scald. So that's a pretty poor shield, but regardless, we need Ferrathorn to do a lot of heavy lifting. So we leave at 100 energy. Mantine unlikely to return. The opponent sends out the third, which is Poliwrath. So unfortunately, I'm on the wrong side of this RPS, and my phone battery is also on 15% because I like to play risky. We're going to throw a good time in 1 Bullet Seed and the back-to-back Power Whip. We've now got shield advantage. Back out comes Mantine. Ideally, we reach 2 Icy Winds and we can double up on charge move. I'm thinking that's probably my win con. I don't really want to shield Poliwrath. So I'm hoping after the debuff, we can reach this move, reach the next Icy Wind, and somehow Bullet Seed farm down. Unfortunately, I get Wing Attack farm down before the next Icy Wind. Yeah, there's no winning that. And again, we are going to concede the match. In the next battle, Jellicent in the lead. We save switch into Quag, and it looks like we're hard countered. However, if you watch K-Pine's video, he says Quagsire can win this in the 2 shield, so we are certainly going to fight for switch. Quagsire can reach a Mud Shot breakpoint in this battle. However, I don't think I've got an attack weighted Quag. It's probably got PvP IVs like most of mine do. However, one fact that I can influence is throwing at good timing, so of course I'm just going to throw out 1, 4 and 7 all the way. Another factor that will influence that breakpoint is Ferrathorn's defense stat. You can see this doesn't look like a particularly good Ferrathorn, as they are certainly in Mud Bomb range. The opponent not wanting to give up switch, but unfortunately trainer, Quagsire is a Ferrathorn counter confirm. Quags like remove yourself from the field of play. Out comes Poliwrath. The opponent does get a very nice counter farm down, and now I'm praying this opponent's short on TMs and also rocking Scold. Moment of truth time. Fuck. It's now time to pray the opponent goes to the classic you switch, I switch, and they do. And after a string of tough leads, the opponent switching out gives me a very clear path to victory. We're going to tank the Shadow Ball, farm up to the double Power Whip. One Power Whip will be vanquishing Jellicent, back to their Pokeball, and this next boom is going to be the most satisfying of them all. Back out comes Poliwrath, and get that Poliwrath off my screen, with us returning to winning ways. Heading into the next battle. Again, we see the Poliwrath mirror. I've only played this cup for one day, but I think I'm traumatized. I'm going to need therapy, as this matchup has given me nightmares. The last one dynamic punched. I'm going to respect it, and this opponent also short on TMs, rocking Scold. So evidently, I'm very salty I shielded that. I return fire with my own Scold. Scold does secure the knockout. Out comes Lantern. I think I should have held this energy, but I'm going to opt to debuff him. Send out Quag. I was hoping to force him out. However, the opponent would probably switch anyway, as they've likely got a better answer for that in the back. They send out Ferrathorn. Luckily, I did save my Poliwrath, which was a good play, but throwing the energy, it was not. So don't be a potato. Do as I say and not as I do. We're able to fire off the next Mud Bomb on the charge attack priority. The opponent putting all their hopes and dreams on their silly electric fish, but my god, trainer, do I have a surprise for you. If I wouldn't have wasted my energy earlier, I could have debuffed Lantern with the Icy Wind, shown him Ferrathorn, and I imagine the opponent would have instantly top left. As they're not debuffed, the opponent thinks they've got a fighting chance. Trainer, you really don't. However, I really wish I would have Icy Winded him, as I've now got to waste 2 further minutes playing this cup that I really hope Niantic never, ever give us again, as it is by far the worst ever. Perhaps even worse than Electric Cup. Or even Psychic Cup. I forgot that cup, that was terrible as well. In the next battle, we see Escav in the lead. The opponent switches out into Ludicolo, and I think I must have fell asleep there. That is one of the slowest switches I've ever seen in my life. But luckily, we've got one very hard answer for Ludicolo in the form of Ferrathorn. We tank the Scold, throw one Bullet Seed, fire off the Power Whip, and we're going for an undercharge. Looking to Bullet Seed farm down. Ludicolo takes around 10 years to reach charge moves. You can have a nap here, put the kettle on, do what you like, and just commit to the Bullet Seed farm down, as I do. Back out comes Escav. I really hope I can reach back-to-back Thunders, although we're super glasses, so we're going to have to settle for just a Thunder. We don't get new mechanic, but it doesn't really matter. The opponent sends out the Quagman. We're going to fire off the Icy Wind. Icy Wind will debuff Quag, and then we'll enter the mirror, and we should be sitting in a winning position. Oh, if you can hear some weird scratching in the background, my cat has come to make a cameo appearance. I've got a cat named Pixie, and it's currently scratching my jogging bottoms. Hi, Pixie. I guess you're probably the highlight of the video. You're far more entertaining than this cup. As I don't have face cam or shoutcast, just on my mobile phone, you can't see her, but she's a beautiful long-haired black and white cat. Returning to the commentary, there's not really much to say, to be honest, other than I'm just going to save 2 shields for Poliwrath and look to counter farm down everything. Back out comes Escav. We've got 2 shields and more health, so this is really straightforward. Tap, 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 press the shield, a bit more tap, tap, tap in, and we take that game. Apologies for the really random commentary and tangents we've been going off on today. Although Fossil Cup isn't that entertaining, I'm really struggling to say something entertaining about this terrible meta. In the next battle, we see Skarmory in the lead. We throw the Icy Wind after 7 counters. We're going to go for the 1 shield, counter farm down, and look to RPS the back line. We shield up the Sky Attack, do get the counter farm down, and let's see what they send out. Out comes the Kitty with Claws Berserker. So I'm thinking they must have something else even weaker to Poliwrath in the back, and they do indeed, in the form of Arcanine. Huge shout out to this opponent, actually running a rock type in this meta. Niantic, if you're going to do a meta with only 3 typings, don't make one of them weak to the other 2. Rock takes super effective from both water and steel, hence no one's using it. In the next battle, we see Escav in the lead. The opponent quick swaps into Jellicent, and luckily this time I don't fall asleep. I managed to switch out into Ferrathorn pretty quick, so we're able to outpace to the Power Whip. This opponent looking to make a play at taking back switch. I thought the opponent was going to bait there. They actually forced in the Shadow Ball, but regardless, we're still going to reach the second Power Whip on the charge attack priority. And being the Shadow from this range, it will secure the knockout. And we actually have minimal farm for the return Escav. So this is probably best case scenario. We've seen this team a few times. I imagine it's Lantern in the back. So we're going to RPS them for the dub. The opponent trying to bait out of Ferrathorn. However, we've also got an even harder answer. Well, probably not harder, but a pretty good answer for Lantern in the form of our Quag. We send out Quag, the opponent, looking to play it out. Why, trainer? Why are you doing this to me? I pray, top left, please, for the love of God. Quag looks happy, but trust me, the person tapping their phone, aka myself, was not happy. We fire off the Mud Bomb on the charge attack priority to the next Surf. The opponent tanks the damage, back out comes Escav. We reach one further Mud Bomb. The opponent is kind of forced to shield this. They're not going to get too much farm. They do get the counter farm. Then you can see I'm looking to switch out. I'm unable to do so. But one non-stab aerial ace won't actually knock out from here. I should have shield flexed, but we actually decide to shield. I think a lose con there would have been if they're randomly on acid spray. If I shielded that up, then the next move, if they would have reached it, which they didn't, they could have knocked out. So I guess I'm just rambling nonsense. In the next battle, we see Lantern in the lead. We say switch into the Quagman. I was worried the opponent would try and catch a Mud Bomb onto a flyer. However, they actually have no response whatsoever as out comes Lucario. This opponent thinking ground is a myth and Quag is out here waving away, smiling away and saying, "Hi buddy, remember me." You should do, as is pretty common. In any format it's allowed in, and even the Open Great League. As the opponent stayed in that opening matchup, we're going to look to make use of the misaligned switch timer. I send out Poliwrath instantly, see my switch timer hasn't quite popped up. Now it pops up. The opponent is going to be switch locked if Lantern should return. I'm looking top right. Lantern does return. The opponent will be spamming the switch. However, we managed to get a very nice energy lead, and my god, do we need it, as Escav is something Ferrathorn doesn't want to see. We land the Thunder. Of course, we've got 2 protection. I'm just going to shield up whatever they throw. Remember I said last battle, if they've got acid spray. Of course this opponent has acid spray. Why not? Them 2 counters did so much damage. Please don't tell me that silly electric fish is going to farm me down. I'm just kidding, Lantern. You've got no shot. We might be double debuff, but Ferrathorn survives the spark and says, "No, Lantern will be beating me today." GG's and thanks for playing. My god, am I thankful for the spark nerf. In the next battle, we see the mirror lead that I always get wrong. Please, Dynamic Punch. Please. Again, we get baited. Oh, man. Someone give me a good number for a therapist. I need it. We fire off the Scold. Scold and the next counter don't knock out. This is like worst case. We are going to win league, but we're going to have literally 0 health. Out comes Skarmory. I'm actually going to pivot into Quagsire. Because I'm down a shield, I want to save Poliwrath as the potential 3rd shield. We fire off the Stone Edge. As I've only got 1 shield, I think the opponent's going to full send the Brave Birds. We now find ourselves down 2 protect shield just with a sacrificial swap. The opponent running double steal, so Quagsire has a whole heap of play. As the opponent again has stayed in, I'm hoping I can catch back onto Poliwrath at some stage. We're going to fire off the next Mud Bomb. Mud Bomb forces the opponent's final protect shield. You can see we are going to reach the next Mud Bomb on the charge attack priority, and this is going to land. We're getting so much lag. I'm tapping my screen like crazy. You can see I'm actually tapping where Ferrathorn is, which would definitely not be the play. I thought Poliwrath was there, so luckily it was CMP, as I would have just cost myself the game. However, we're not out of the woods yet. Reggie is very close to Thunder range. However, Skarmory has energy. So what we're going to do is going to throw 5 Bullet Seeds, catch the Focus Blast back onto our 3rd shield. And now it's all going to be about energy management. We know Skarmory will be returning at some stage. I'm going to keep farming. Back out comes Skarmory. Thunder will be vanquishing this Steel Bird from the sky. Back out comes Registeel. Ferrathorn going to claim back-to-back booms and be a double steal counter confirmed. GG's. Heading into the final battle of today's video, and we get 1 more Poliwrath mirror. I have gone the entire day not playing this right. I said earlier I've got a very, very highly ranked Poliwrath. I try my luck winning a CMP. We do not, and we also get the shield call wrong. As much as I hate this cup, I'm tempted to play it for another day just to try and get 1 single shield call right in that mirror. How can you get so many wrong? It's essentially a coin flip, right? They're either going to bait you or nuke you, and I managed to get everyone wrong the entire day. Even more annoying, this opponent is going to start shielding Poliwrath. So they're likely weak to Quag in the back, but Poliwrath is going to do a pretty good job at running through the entirety of my team. As the opponents revealed they're so weak to Quag, I'm going to reset my debuff, sending out Ferrathorn. Let's go. We correctly should have a Dynamic Punch, but disaster. Out comes Lucario. These Force Palms are out here looking like Incinerates. My gosh, where's my health? Luckily, Lucario's super glassy. We managed to Bullet Seed farm down and get a Simul KO. I try and Mud Shot farm down Poliwrath, anticipating double steal. Unfortunately, it wasn't meant to be, and we're going to take a loss. GG's to that opponent. And that is going to draw to a close today's showcase. I'm sure you can tell by my commentary and energy today. I think this is one of the worst metas Niantic has ever gave us. I really don't like limited metas with so few type-ins. Because what that does is allow a very few Pokemon to have play. Poliwrath, Ferrathorn, Escav, Jellicent. The Flyers and Mud Boys, essentially all you've got. And it's on for 2 weeks. Niantic, please never do that again. Huge shout out to K-Pine for the team suggestion. He's linked in the title. Go check him out. If you're enjoying the content, smash that like button. If you're new, consider subscribing. If you'd like your battles featured on my channel, a link to a battle submission form is down below. And as always, a huge thank you to everyone for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.